All right, point out some stuff here in y'all's Facebook ads that are slowing down y'all's results. First thing I always look at is the text. How junk pile you've been putting off? Junk removal and clean out services. All right, so this is the mistake of broadness, or being very broad. Junk pile, professional junk removal. We understand what that is, and the people viewing our ad, even if what they need is junk removal, they don't recognize, they don't name it that. So they literally have, honestly, when they scroll by fast, they have no idea what we're talking about. The false belief that caused us to make this mistake is we believe that kind of the words and phrases that are relevant to us are also relevant to our potential buyers, also called the expert's curse. Short-term consequence of this is way more people scrolling by, getting less qualified leads through, less buyers, kind of more frustration. All right, now let's look at the creative. All right, so we got a before picture of, kind of a, yard clean out. So yeah, I'd say this is okay. But this is the, the before picture trap. This mistake, the false belief that caused us to make this mistake is we believe the kind of showing the before is 100% the best way to bring in buyers. Now it's actually 50% half correct. So it is 50% correct, but short-term consequences not being 100% correct is, again, more people scrolling by, people feeling it's not relevant to them or as relevant as it could be. Kind of people who are interested but not committed, they click to learn more, they contact us, they don't really respond. Now, stuff below the ad, always a mistake. Any text below the ad, always a mistake. The false belief that caused us to make this mistake is we believe that since Meta, Facebook, has these fields and recommends we fill in all the fields, that it is the best thing for us. That's not true. It's actually the best thing for Meta to make more money, but we want to do the things that is the best thing for us to make more money. So the short-term consequence of this, people see this more as an ad. People don't want to be sold to. More people scrolling on by, and less buyers, kind of less qualified peeps, fewer people even coming to read up here. So those are short-term consequences. Long-term consequences of all these mistakes is, obviously we get frustrated, we stop advertising on Facebook. But what happens if we do that? Our competitors keep advertising, they keep testing, they eventually find the ads that work. And then they're getting tons of jobs, tons of reviews on Google Maps, tons of referrals. And they really capture the mind share in our market, where we're kind of relegated and our growth slows, it stalls, and then it decreases and could potentially even put us out of business. But pretty easy to get back on track to positive momentum here. It's just starting with removing these mistakes that are causing our ad to fight against itself out there in the marketplace. I call it removing the parking brakes, so our ad can drive smoothly and really get a fair shot out in the marketplace. So if you want to get these brakes removed, these mistakes removed, I do have one slot open starting on Monday for a 1-week paid trial for $100, where I will remove these mistakes, remove these parking brakes, so they get us back on a positive track here against all our competitors, so I get more higher chance of getting more buyers, and kind of leading us to dominate our marketplace against everyone else. And I'll be going with the first person who texts me back the word trial.